Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In our previous video, we gave you a brief introduction on what forging is, why it is used, and also compared it with casting. We also gave you a brief introduction on how cold forging is done. Do check it out, the link is in the description below. Forging is a very diverse metalworking process. New methods of forging procedures are being developed every day to tackle the need for stronger and more durable materials. So, in this video, we'll be talking on the basic types of hot forging. The first type is called drop forging. In drop forging, a heavy drop hammer is raised and dropped on the workpiece to deform it into the required shape. The workpiece is generally at its recrystallization temperature and the hammer and anvil are at normal temperature. There are again two types of drop hammer forging techniques. They are open die forging and closed die forging. In open die forging, the hammer is dropped on the workpiece to deform. Once the required deformation is achieved, the die is either used to make a hole in the metal or to deform it into the required shape. Open die forging is most commonly used to make flywheel rings, discs, step shafts, and more. The next type of drop hammer forging is closed die forging. In this type of forging, the anvil and the hammer are shaped like the two halves of the final product. The hammer is then dropped on the hot workpiece, causing it to deform into the required shape. This type of forging is generally used to make drilling bits, small gears, and more. The next type of forging process is called press forging. The press forging process is similar to that of drop hammer forging. In drop hammer forging, the hammer is dropped on the work at high speeds to deliver instantaneous impact force. But press forging works by delivering a continuous force or pressure on the workpiece to get the required shape. The next type of forging process is called upset forging. This type of forging is used to increase the diameter of the component by reducing the length of the component. Upset forging is not limited to only hot forging. Components can be forged by both hot and cold forging methods. Upset forging is the most widely used type of forging in terms of numbers, due to it being used to produce a wide variety of fasteners, bolts, screws, and nails. A heated metal is held steady by a holding vise. Since one end of the metal is hot, it is softer and can be easily deformed. In the other end of the vise, a ramming die is present. When the heated metal is fully secured, the ramming die rams against the metal and deforms it into the required shape. This is the reason why upset forging is mostly used to mass-produce components. The next type of forging process is called roll forging. In this type of forging, rollers are used to reduce the thickness of a circular or a flat stock and increase its length. This is done by forcing the workpiece between rollers to reduce its thickness to the required size. It is also possible to impart shape to the final workpiece by adding dies to the rollers. The shape from the rollers is then forced upon the workpiece by compressive forces from the rollers. This method is most commonly used to make leaf springs, axles, and levers. The next type is the rolling ring or ring rolling forging. This type of forging is used to make large circumferential rings. A workpiece with a hole in the middle is carried over to a roller machine. The roller has two main components. They are the drive roller and the idle roller. The drive roller is used to rotate the workpiece, whereas the idle roller is used to apply pressure on the workpiece in the direction shown. This forces the workpiece to deform vertically. But this is not the type of deformation we are expecting, so this is again corrected by two axial rollers. These rollers are also used as guides to ensure that the workpiece becomes a proper circular ring. The circular rings made in this way are most commonly used in making flywheels, gears, and pipe connectors. The next type of forging method is called induction forging. This method is generally used to make small components like bolts and screws. In this type of forging, the method used to heat the metal is different. Normal forging methods use a blast or arc furnace to heat the workpiece to sufficient temperature. But these types of furnaces are just too powerful for small workpieces. They tend to melt the workpiece instead of just softening the metal. This is the reason an induction heater is used. An induction heater is a type of electromagnetic heater which heats up the metal with the help of electromagnetic induction. When we place a conductive material in a strong alternating magnetic field, the material heats up due to Joule heating. Electromagnetic heating is a very interesting topic. We'll be making a video in the near future about this, so stay tuned. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. We'll meet again in the next one. Until then, bye.